Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to our Title I parent meeting. My name is Mrs. Durnan, and I am the primary school principal here at Byron Primary School. So what I would like to do today is take a few minutes to share a little bit more about what Title I is. You have received a notification that your child may have qualified for Title I, and so our goal today is to help explain what that means and then what that might look like when they are in school. So we have several goals for our virtual meeting today. And obviously, if we were able to be in person, we would open up on one of our conference nights to have a parent meeting just to kind of do a question and answer on Title I. We are doing virtual conferences this fall, so upon viewing this presentation, if you do have additional questions, there's going to be an opportunity for you to reach out to the school, and we can certainly set up on November 9th a time to meet virtually and have some live discussion if you are wanting a little bit more after viewing the presentation. So our goals today are to again, hopefully clear up some questions, but again, if you do have additional questions, we will get you set up to do a live meeting on November 9th. We're going to explain a little bit about the process. We're going to talk about why Title I is a state and federal mandate, and then how we determine whether or not a student would be qualifying for Title I services. So Title I is a federal program designed to support state and local education initiatives. It is not a special education program. It is a federal program, again, just to support reading and math interventions. It is targeted to supplement learning efforts to enable students to meet proficiency on state and local curricular standards and assessments. And we're going to talk a little bit about what that proficiency means, and then again, how we determine if a student is at a proficiency level or if they are needing just a little extra boost with some reading and or math interventions. So Title I is, again, federally funded, and every year our Title I allotment changes based on the percentage of disadvantaged population that we may have in the district. It changes from year to year. It is a federal formula, and as you can kind of see, just a little historical picture here of where our Title I funding allotments have been over the last 4 school years. And this year, our district received $39,125.75. Title I spans across K through 5. So this $39,000 goes towards both meeting needs at the primary school and the intermediate school. And it needs to specifically target the content areas of reading and math. Every year, how title may look in our buildings, it may differ. And that just is based, again, upon the need and the funding that is received. We use a variety of initiatives and assessments to determine if a student would be qualifying for Title I services. We use classroom assessments, teacher recommendation. Grades 3 through 5 use the MCA testing data. In the primary school, our primary assessment system is FAST, and that is our first data point that we will always look at. We look at fast reading and math. And then our secondary assessment that we will look at for a data point is our Guided Reading and Phonics assessment. And then our third data point is our classroom assessments and then teacher recommendation. So there's really not just one deterrent as far as who may fall into the title category. We use several different data points, and we try to make decisions that are going to be based on what is best for each student. Part of Title I is having a compact, which is an agreement or partnership made between the stakeholders. And the stakeholders in our whole educational world include the family, the parent, the school, and the teacher. And so the school part is also the student part. So the compact is a federal requirement. We do offer it. It's attached to this presentation and to the letter that you would have received. And it is a signed record that just shares that we are in communication. We understand that we're all working together to, again, make the best learning experiences for our students. So you can feel free to print the compact, sign it, send it with your child back to school. If you're not able to print, please email Tina at the primary school and we will mail you one. And you can go ahead and sign it and send it back. Normally we would do this at our parent-teacher conferences, but our conferences are going to be virtual this year. So unfortunately, we will not be able to have you sign on site. So please let us know if you need assistance and we will definitely get one mailed. All right. So again, our allocations are listed here. And we have, as a system, K through 5, allocated our title funding for additional paraprofessional support. So we do have paraprofessionals that work in the primary and intermediate school, and our paraprofessionals receive reading and math intervention training. They receive some assessment training, and basically what we're doing is we're kind of building our staff so that we have multiple opportunities to help all of our students based on what they may require. A lot of times students may get some small group extra intervention support from the teacher in the classroom. They may get it from a small group with a paraprofessional, and they may even get it one-on-one depending upon the individual need. Our paraprofessionals do provide reading and math support in the primary school. This year, we have a little bit of a different look where a lot of our paraprofessionals are going into the grade levels. They're going into the classrooms. They may work with just a few students at a time, providing some of that additional reading and math support. If they are receiving some additional support, it is never happening during the core reading or math instruction. All of our students are present and in the room for any new instruction that may be coming from the classroom teacher. So we work with teachers, we create intervention times within the building, and then again, it's either paraprofessional or classroom teacher, and in some instances, our reading specialist may also be providing some support for our students. This is just kind of a sample of the various needs that we incur every year in our buildings. We do have what we called a multi-tiered systems of support team, where we regularly will review student data and then make decisions based on what the data is showing us. We do know that we have all of our kids in the core section as they receive that reading and math instruction every day from their licensed teacher. We also then have our intervention times for our Tier 2 students, which would be our Title I students. And then we also have what's called a Tier 3, which is a very more intense intervention time where our reading specialist or our interventionist may be working one-on-one or maybe one-on-two with students. We also look at students who are above that proficiency level and again make sure that we're providing educational opportunities that meet everyone's needs. So Tier 1 again is our reading and math. It's provided by the classroom teacher. We do have 90 to 120 minutes of reading each day and 60 to 90 minutes of math each day. Our Tier 2, which is as we like to say is our STARS time. Both the primary and intermediate have a built-in STARS time into their schedules, which means that during this time, our paraprofessionals are pushing in to provide that extra little boost or intervention time for kids that may be needing just a little bit more, either reteaching or repracticing or practicing to help them get to that proficiency level. So 4 days a week, we do some just enhanced interventions. It's very flexible based on the need of every student. We also in the past have ran a after-school program called Dreams. We are still in the planning stages of what this may look like in school, so we have not started that program yet, but that also is another intervention opportunity for our tier student or our title students. And then in the summer, we do offer summer programming called Summer Dreams. And again, it's just another opportunity to keep that learning going. And then again, Tier 2 always happens in addition to core learning. It never replaces it. We do have Tier 3 at both the primary and the intermediate. We have licensed reading specialists who are in each one of our buildings. And again, if a student is receiving some Tier 3 intensive interventions, that is happening in addition to core, in addition to Tier 2. It's very focused, and it is very closely monitored, and we continue to review the data to make sure that we are providing the right interventions for all our students. So again, title is kind of brought together by all of these components on the screen here. We use our Minnesota state standards. We have a read well by third grade state requirement. We have our guiding principles of literacy instruction. We have our literacy instructional framework. Our teachers work in professional learning communities, which are PLCs. And we have our MTSS committee, which is our multi-tiered system of support. That's that team that reviews data. And we, at the primary, our MTSS committee and our team, we review data weekly. All right. So what can you do? Keep communicating regularly with your teacher in the school. Stay connected with what's happening in the classroom. Ask questions, seek answers, continue to support your child's learning. We will keep you updated on what dreams may look like this year. We did run a summer dreams this past summer prior to restarting school, and the plan is to continue to have that next summer. And again, we're still kind of fine-tuning what a after-school dreams opportunity may look like. And research always tells us that read. Reading is the number one component to help students with reading strategies, with reading and all the different reading strands and components that students need to kind of acquire in their toolbox. We certainly want to thank you for partnering with us. You will have received this letter, and hopefully this letter this year helps explain how we determine whether or not your child was falling into that tier category. And again, we have listed our grade level assessments that we've used, and we certainly encourage you again to ask questions. Please know that on the back of the letter, if you have further questions, we can do a virtual question and answer on Monday, November 9th at 5:30. And if you would like to meet and again, just have another conversation, please email Tina at the primary office and we'll get you an invitation to attend that meeting. Title is definitely just another component that helps us help meet the needs of our students. So again, please don't hesitate if you have questions. We look at this as an opportunity to continue to meet the needs of all of our individual students and learners. So again, thank you so much, and hopefully we will get to see you soon. Thank you.